Yay. So we're here with Nigel from the Devil's Playground. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, the Devil's Playground 2. You must hit the number 2. You must write the
Two.
number
Oh,
2
sorry.
button.
Number
Yeah.
two. I just
Mm,
already have you saved. So
yeah.
is there another Devil's Playground or?
Yeah, there's a couple of channels on there that that use that same name.
Okay.
Um,
And then
because
you've got Harry on there, right, with you. So
yeah.
he just didn't want to come on then, right?
No, I mean he can come on. I can flick him a message. We can get him on if you want to get him on.
I'm just throwing stuff at you. So thanks for asking to connect and all that. And I thought what we'd start off with, I mean, if you want to bring him on, that's great. But I thought what we'd start off with maybe is you just talking about your background and your channel and like what you're about and what your message is, and then why you got into this. And then also like, where are you getting your info from? Because I think you two are putting out a lot of interesting info. So, or whatever you want to say, like, I'll just let you introduce and,
Well, I'm originally from the UK. I emigrated to Australia in 2000. Um, long story. 14 years later, I found myself in China, and I've been here ever since, teaching English in a we would call it a high school, but in China they call it a middle school. There's only three schools. There's small school, there's middle school, and there's big school. And big school is what we would call university. So kids in my school, they're kind of from 11 years old to 18, and I teach the older kids. Um, I woke up. I hate to use that phrase. In early 2017, due to the disputed Mandela effect. You know, and I get people on my channel that will make comments about, oh, it's not real, it's not real. It doesn't matter. It's real for me. And I was profoundly Mandela affected, and I mean profoundly Mandela affected. And that was what woke me up, and I was determined to find out what this place we call Earth really is. Went down every conceivable rabbit hole, and Anne-Marie, because I'm quite fortunate, but because I'm a teacher, uh, I I have so much free time, so much free time. And that's been able to allow me to go down many rabbit holes. I've done probably somewhere between 20 and 30,000 hours of research since the beginning of February 2017. That's a hell of a lot of research in like 4 or 5 years. A lot of research. So I've been quite fortunate in that regard. And even now, you know, we're still finding out more and more. I came across, I don't know if you know Logan from Decode Your Reality, um, but you know, he was a huge piece of the jigsaw. He did a video called "How to Decode Yourself." It's about an hour, 58 minutes, I think, and it is an absolute must. Um, I've I was born on October the 1st, which is 10/1, which is 11. And I've had 11s follow me all the way through my life when I look back. Even my first child was born on 11/11. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I got married on the 29th, 2 and 9 is 11. The first house we bought was 119. You got the 11 and the 9, and of course 9 plus 1 is 11. And I could go on, but I'd bore the pants off you. But even now, you know, we just had a so-called summer holiday. I went down to the city that I worked in for 3 years. I'm in a different one now. I've been in this city for 3 years. And the city went into lockdown. The only city in China went into lockdown. Now, when I go there, and I've gone there many times over the last 3 years since I've been here, I usually stay with a friend in their apartment, and their apartment number is 1010. Right, so there's the 11 again. Now they've recently had a baby, so you know, a few months ago. So when I went down this time, she said, "Nigel, I've got an apartment on the 7th floor. You know what I mean, in the same building." And I went, "Yeah, sure, 704, 704, 7 and 4 is 11." You know, I got back. Harry and I did a podcast yesterday, deeply involving the number 11, and it just happens to be number 74 in our. I number all our podcasts so I can relate back to them and tell viewers, look, if you want to know that, go back and watch number 55 or whatever. and it just happened to be number 74. And when you look at Logan's stuff on Decode Your Reality, I mean, even my full address where I grew up, right, even including the postcode, comes down to 11. The family phone number that I had growing up was 74047. There's your 11 and 11. It's insane.
You're not in a matrix, though. Come on.
Oh no, of course we're not. Our lives are scripted. Our lives are 100% scripted. We've done a couple of podcasts on how the free will aspect works, because people will say, oh well, if we're scripted, does that mean that I'm, if I want to go and make a coffee, that's part of the script? No, we see it as the higher self. Forget the notion of God for a minute. Your higher self is your individual God, my individual God. And the reverse of that is the dog. The dog is on a leash. If you've got a big back garden, Anmarie, and you've got a dog, and you put a leash on that dog that's, say, 100 meters long or 100 yards long, that dog can go anywhere. He thinks he can go anywhere. He thinks he's got free will. Yes, you can go and get a shower. Yes, you can go and make something to eat. But I'm in China because it's part of my script. You're where you are because it's part of your script. Everybody,
Maybe.
wherever they are, is part of their script. Yeah.
It's like a video game when you're in a room and you can wander around that room as long as you want. Pick up recharge your lives and pick this up or do that before you go through the door to the next room. But yeah, I hear you. So going back to the numbers, you really don't want to know what my address is. But I did notice that you kept pushing for us to talk on the 11th. And
oh wow,
I switched us. Well, my 11th, I guess I switched us to the 12th, but
that was unconscious, I can assure
you.
you.
And you're 13th on yours, but so these Mandela effects. Maybe you can explain this one. I just had somebody this morning was talking to me, and he said he was going through a divorce and or a rough patch, I don't know, relationship that ended up in divorce. And so to zone out, he sat and watched all the Stargate episodes. And this was like when it first came out or whatever years ago. And I haven't really watched it, but he said recently he sat back down and started watching it again. And he's like, I'm 50 episodes in. And it's like, I only remember maybe 2 of these. Like, how can I not remember any of these episodes? These weren't what the old ones I saw. And he's like, there's no way I forgot all those episodes. Of course, he's like a brainiac, remembers everything. And just thought that was odd. So obviously they didn't go record all new shows or, what do you think that is? Because I think Mandela is like erasing our past, but how would you explain something like that?
Well, I think that what we know is the Mandela effect is nothing but a kick up the arse. It's a wake-up call. Where it's coming from, is it benevolent? Is it malevolent? Who really knows? All that matters is that guy's watching those shows now and he's going, I don't remember this. I don't remember this. So he's going to start questioning what has happened. Why is this? Why has this changed? And that is really all people need. I mean, the Bible changes. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb instead of the lion shall lay down with the lamb. Where 2 or more are gathered in my name is now where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name. Harry's got a Greek Bible that's 30 years old, and he looked at it the other day when we were doing a podcast. And right there, when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I don't remember that. So
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that the whole methodology behind it seems to be some kind of wake-up call. Now, people are going to argue and they say, oh, I remember when 2 or 3, and I remember it's always been the wolf. Well, fine, that Mandela effect is not for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was some
of them are quite profound. I mean, the Monopoly Man, for
you and I are old, so we have memories that go back further. It was Lion. Like Wizard of Oz, watching that as a kid, I hated that movie. Sorry to those of you that love it, but back in the day we had 3-4 channels and that was it. You had nothing else. You had no phone, you had no nothing, so you watched whatever was on TV and they would play Wizard of Oz. Oh my god, it seemed like every 3 months, 6 months that thing was on TV. We're watching Wizard of Oz again. So I knew that thing backwards and forwards, and my brother would run around the house saying, fly, my pretties, fly, fly, when the witch tells her monkeys to fly. And he would go, because he was real good at imitating stuff. And now they're trying to say that she never said that. She just said, fly, fly. She never said my pretties. And it's like, oh, no, I got a definite memory. She said my pretties. So,
Well, you've also got the mirror on the wall becomes magic mirror on the wall.
right. Yes.
We all
Yes.
remember mirror on the wall.
You know why we remember this stuff is because we didn't have a whole lot of selection. We didn't have 4 billion channels to look at on YouTube or on, we didn't have this. We had nothing, We just had like a few books, a set of encyclopedias and 4 channels on TV. So when you watch Sound of Music so many times on TV, because they keep replaying it, and you know every line. These are the people that know, yes, we remember this.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna refer to Logan because what he says is so true. Because what you're talking about is what he would call your truth, and what I'm talking about is my truth. So when a third person comes in and says, "Oh no, they never said fly my pretties fly," that's their truth, and your truth is that they did say fly my pretties fly. And that's all that matters is your truth, my truth, and whoever's watching this, your truth is.
So different timelines or what?
Yeah, we don't know, we never will know, but we can analyze it forever and we're never going to find the answer. But does it really matter? Because it's the effect that's important. It woke me up. It's woken many people up to, and again, I hate using that.
So who do you think's
phrase.
racing time then to cause this, or switching us on timelines? Because it's not my truth. It was true on whatever timeline I was on, but now I'm not on that timeline. So.
Well, we're living in an AI matrix, definitely. I think that's been proven beyond any shadow of a doubt that we're living in an AI matrix. Can AI be benevolent or malevolent? Well, you've only got to read the Old Testament.
No.
You know, one minute you've got, you know, I'm a jealous God, and the next minute you've got I'm a loving God. Well, you know, and we're talking about the Lord here, L-O-R-D, capital L-O-R-D. Well, capital L-O-R-D, that to me, that rings of corporation. That rings of an acronym. Yeah, because you always see the Lord, L-O-R-D, for the most part, in capital letters. Well, were there different lords at different times during that writing of the Bible? So you have this benevolent Lord, and you have the malevolent one. I will destroy you.
I think they're all malevolent ultimately because they're all controllers, but that was me intuitively reading on it. I feel like most of them are not in our best interest.
I agree.
I mean, we're controlled, but I actually had somebody, because I would love the idea of, oh yeah, some AI that's good, that's going to come rescue us or whatever. But when I read on it, it's like, yeah, no, none of these are good. And I actually had somebody on my channel tell me I was racist because I said all AI are bad. I mean, come on. And there may be like a 0.5%, maybe that isn't, but they're not conscious. They don't have creative spark. They're not there. There's nobody there.
Oh,
it's
no.
like they don't have, they can follow a pattern and they can look at billions and billions or even larger numbers of data, put it all together and then say something to you to convince you, like, and react. But that doesn't mean they have true compassion or anything like that.
No, and they can't create anything. They can only repeat, which is why we say history repeats itself.
Right.
Now, I mean, anybody can do this. Go on. I'm not asking you to do it now. I'm just going to put this out there for the people listening. Go on to pubmed.com, pubmed.com. Okay, open up the page and do a search for an 1830 influenza pandemic. And you will find that in 1830, an influenza pandemic came out of China and infected the world. Now, in 1830, were people flying around on jetliners? No. You know, they did the same in 1918, as we all know. They're doing the same now. It's just rinse and repeat. That's all it is. They can't create anything.
I was trying to pull it up, but I couldn't get it to pull up. That PubMed.
PubMed.com, go to the site, and then on the site do a search for 1830 influenza.
Well, I've got some. Oh, here we go. You got to hit pubmed.ncbi.nlms. something. I don't know, but I found it. Here, hang on. This what you were thinking of?
Hang on, my screen's just changed. Yeah, there you go, 1830 to 1848. And if you scroll down, it will tell you that it came out of China.
Yep, originated in China.
You
That
can't
doesn't
make
have
this
any
up.
connection to today, though.
No, of course not. It only happens to be, 1830 to 2020 is only 190 years. There's nothing to see with the 19, is there?
No.
You know what I mean? We're just crazy conspiracy.
Right. Are you still there? Did you freeze?
Theorists,
Oh, there, I got you.
Oh, I'm still here. Yeah.
So while we're talking about AI, let's see, hopefully this is the right screen. I don't know what I'm pulling up. Maybe not. Oh, Doug, just do that. So was this the video you sent me? Nope, I think I lost you again.
You're right, I'm back. It
Okay.
happens occasionally.
I hear you. There you are. Was
Right.
this the video that you sent me?
I don't think so. Can you scroll down a bit? I can't see the bottom.
Shoot. Isn't this the one with what's his name in it here? Let me take the volume off.
Doesn't ring any bells.
I
I look at so much stuff. Doesn't ring any bells.
This is the one with this.
Oh yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean anything to me right there. That is just him sitting all stiff and weird, but he does look weird. So maybe we should talk about this.
It's the blinking. It's the blinking that they were referring to.
Yeah, when he doesn't talk, he blinks.
When he's receiving, he blinks very, very quickly. When he's talking, he hardly blinks at all.
Yeah, there's another one they had behind
yeah,
this guy.
Yeah.
So these, I think they're everywhere. But something interesting was, okay, what the heck was I reading on when I did this? I was reading on the giants that are asleep in the caves, and I was asking if they were AI. I asked if they were AI synthetic robots, like I was just doing the cards on them, the tarot cards. And I was seeing, no, they're AI. So there's a difference between being an AI synthetic robot and being an AI. And I think what that is possibly, here, blinking's really annoying. I think what that is just being AI means you're some type of hybrid or alien, like a reptilian or something like that. And then Carrie Cassidy just happened to post this shortly thereafter about Kim. I won't say her last name, but I think you know what I'm talking about, Kim. Because I said Kim was AI, and Carrie said, this was on her Telegram, of course she's programmed, she's Anunnaki. That's why they tried to manage her so completely. So I think, you know, a hybrid would be, to me, is half humanoid, half reptilian AI, or mantid AI, or whatever AI alien species they used for the other half of the equation. So I'm wondering if that's what the difference is, where a synthetic robot is something like this.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's AI, the synthetics, and there is what we got the name from John Lamlash that we call the Yehudans, which is essentially the Genesis 1:27 creation. Now,
is there anything else in this we should have looked at?
No, it's just the blinking.
So what about this guy? Like, what's he doing there? And
Well, he doesn't look like he needs to shave very often, does he? Let's put it that way.
No, I
So
mean, what's he doing in T's life? And
I don't know, but it's all scripted. It's all a script. I mean, what did T say in the beginning about H? The old lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. Ain't gonna happen because they're all playing a script. We were talking about this in our podcast that we did yesterday, the number 74, that we're directing our energy against these entities. The Mr. Kill
yeah,
Bates and all his ilk. We're directing our energy against these entities, but in all reality, they're just playing a script. I mean, would you go? Would you
well, if they're
go?
AI, I truly think, not to interrupt you again, but I truly think that Hillary is just a Android type thing that's hooked up right into the matrix. So it's like you lock her up, they'll just make another one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. But again, if once you accept or get your head around the idea that everybody's just playing out their script, you wouldn't go and punch, if you wouldn't bump into an actor or an actress in the supermarket and go and smack him in the face because you didn't like what he did to his wife on the TV screen when he was in the, when he was in whatever TV show, because everybody's just playing out their script. And once people get their head around that and stop directing their negative energy towards these entities, just ignore them. I really think that's the way out of here. When I
Yeah.
say way out,
The problem is we got to experience pain here and difficulty. And I mean, I think that's why I want certain people in the script to be doing their part. So I have an easier time of it while I still have to be here, because I don't want to
well,
go through anymore.
if you look at the word funeral, it's an anagram of real fun, right? And the word real is made up with the letters R-A and E-L. Ra, the sun god, and El, the biblical god. So are Ra and El having fun with us at our funeral?
Yep.
The connections are insane. I mean, when I was doing the podcast yesterday, I'd spent all day Saturday doing this presentation, and we were talking about the 11, and it suddenly hit me, the pause button. Look at the pause button. It's an 11, right? And we were talking about the dog connection. Dogs have paws, P-A-W-S. It's right in front of our face, and we don't see it. It's absolutely crazy.
So I've got some more questions about these script players, though.
Yeah.
So
Go for your life.
although I did, there is a video that just popped up from yesterday where T went to the 17th, which is of course the 17th letter of the alphabet. He went to the 17th police precinct, and there was another 17 on the wall behind him. So there's like two 17s. But I did notice in that video, he looked like he had one of these big, tall synthetic robot things behind him. It was maybe it's Secret Service, but I don't know. It kind of looks a little bit too tall or something.
Well, I'm just going to throw something in here. We know there are 26 letters in the alphabet, right? And in Hebrew Gematria, Yod He Vav He is 26. Now, if you write out the alphabet on a piece of paper, and you write lowercase a through Z, and you write uppercase A through Z, how many letters are literally the same? I mean, you have the capital A, which is different to the small a, but the capital C is the same as a small c, right?
Mhm.
Now, if you go and do that all the way through the alphabet, you'll find there are 17 letters that are the same, uppercase and lowercase.
Very
17.
interesting.
Yeah, right down to the Z, that we call it Z. Yeah,
True.
the uppercase and lowercase are the same. Yeah.
U, V, W. So we'll just move on from the whole Robotoid thing here. So what do you think about Eric Clapton? Suddenly he's Mr. Anti this and singing a song about it. And
Have you heard that song? It's horrible. It's awful. I mean,
That's what
you
I
know,
thought.
Eric Clapton. I mean, people had a lot of respect for Eric Clapton, but that song is terrible. But again, it's all part of the script. You
That's
know,
what
this is
I think it's
this is
just
all
part of the
division.
show. Because
This
I
is all
kind of ripped
division.
him to shreds something he posted a while ago about these. And I was like, oh, please, come on. It just feels like he's trying to decide which side he's on, or and then it's, I don't know.
Well, again, I think it's all about division. I mean, the biggest divide recently was, of course, when Biden got in. And of course, you know, it's all mockery, Anmarie. It's all mockery. I mean, you had Don. I mean, what's a Don? A Don is the leader of a mafia organization, right? You have Don, who's leaving, and you get Biden, bye Don.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's just complete mockery. So that was the big division, and now they're coming in with this, which they want to divide between the anti and the pro. You know, it's just a script. It's just we're living in a movie. We're living in some kind of movie or
So,
AR,
right.
VR, virtual reality.
So I keep feeling and that they're going to move us, and I don't know what that means, but they're going to move us. So I've been wondering about the last 24 hours about that. Like, are they going to move us to another timeline? Because I'd like to be on a different one. I mean, I'm over
Yeah, me
this
too.
script. This script
Me too.
sucks.
Yeah, me too. Well,
So,
I agree with you. I think the script's come to an end. I think they're just fudging it now. They don't know which direction to go, so they're just playing along. That's my opinion.
yeah, I'm out of here when this is over, and I'm hoping in the meantime it's as easy as possible, because I've lived a very difficult life, and I'm completely over it. I cannot do any more. Like, I refuse permission to do any more nonsense.
Well, I think what you're doing with your channel, or what I'm doing with my channel, and what other people are doing with their channels, I think that's part of our script, and we're supposed to be putting this message out. Now, I noticed something the other day on your channel. You were stuck on 1.44k subscribers forever, and then suddenly overnight you've got 1.52. So you picked up 800 subscribers in 24 hours. I mean, come on, please.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was stuck for, I think, like 2 months.
It was a
And
long time. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And then literally overnight, you went to 1.52 from
yeah,
1.44.
stupid.
So 800 subs overnight.
And they still
Absolutely.
they still block all, a lot of comments. Okay, I'm trying to bring up this picture here, sorry. Yeah, and it was almost like, notice that 144, because it feels like that's the area of their script that we're on as far as the
Yeah.
Bible. But okay, so these are I don't know if you've got them where you are, but these are posts popping up everywhere, these weird polls. Like, here's the normal telephone pole, then they put these weird things up, and they've got a light on top, and this is supposed to be for 5G, but they're popping up everywhere. And some people are saying that there's black lights, like some of these have black light, which I thought, okay, maybe that's to see if people have gotten the injection.
Well, Harry went and had a look at that when he saw your podcast, when you said, "Oh, I'm gonna have a chat with Nige from the Devil's Playground, and we're going to talk about these." And I'm thinking, maybe she's got me mixed up with somebody else, because we don't have those here yet.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
But Harry went and checked, and what he found out was that many of them are failing. They're putting them up. They're supposed to be putting out some kind of blue light, but they're failing. But they're definitely something to do with 5G. And for all the conspiracy theorists out there, just understand that 5G has got nothing to do with your phone.
Right.
Nothing to do with your phone. I mean, we got it all over the place here. 5G. I had cause to buy a new phone a couple of months ago, because the one that I'd had since 2013 died. Oh, when you stop sharing the screen, remind me. I'll tell you something about that. And this is supposed to be a 5G phone, but it's connected to 4G. right? I've never seen 5G on it. So you're getting this propaganda here about, oh, 5G, 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 but they're not. It's nothing to do with 5G. And also these over here, they're not at the moment. It's not being pushed like it is in the West, and they're none of them are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the 4 that you guys can choose from over there.
Well,
But
those
this is
lights have been popping up in other countries. I've had people writing to me about it. So it's not just here in the United States. They're popping up like all over the place.
It's everywhere. This is an old Samsung phone that I bought in 2013. Now, can you see the name Samsung?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Can you see the A? The A is an upside down pyramid.
No, but is it like that on all of them?
Well, the funny thing is that it's Samsung in capital letters. Get it? It probably won't focus. Oh, there we go. No, it's not focusing very well.
No.
But the A is an upside down, well, it's a pyramid. And I was watching a video a couple of months ago, and somebody was talking about the name Samsung, and that the A used to be a regular A, and now it's morphed into the pyramid, right? The A without the bar. And I thought, oh, I've got residue. Yeah. So I picked this phone up, even though it's dead. I picked this phone up and I looked at it and it was a regular A. And I went, wow. And it changed right in front of my fucking eyes. And I am not joking.
I believe it.
My jaw dropped to the floor. I'm looking at it and I went, yep, residue, that's an A. Shit. It changed right in front of my eyes.
So Mandela effect again? Your phone had to catch up with the timeline you were on.
Yeah. So this is a clear example of what of how things can happen. I mean, if I hadn't witnessed it with my own eyes, I would have. Well, you know what can you say? It literally morphed as I was looking at it. It changed from an A into, and I know, guys, I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds
no, it doesn't.
insane, but
that stuff happens to me.
You know,
it does happen to me, and I've had these experiences of driving home, and especially when I lived in this one particular place. At the time, I was staying in an apartment, and every time I would pull up, like if I left, I'd come home ready to turn in, and I'm like, where the heck am I? Like, is this my apartment? It's like, this does not look right. This looks different. And it would happen almost every single day. And it's just bizarre. But
well, I had another personal experience. What I found, and I talk about this a lot on the channel, is that the more information we get and the more we understand, the more information we're given. Right? I never have to worry about what I'm going to talk about in the podcast because something will come my way. But what happened a few months ago? We in China we use these things. You see, this is called an e-bike, electric bike, right? That's what most people get around on. And I'm coming home from I've gone to do a class in the morning, and I got another class through in the afternoon. So I came out of school, I went to the supermarket, bought a load of stuff, and it was in the basket on the front of the bike. And I'm 1 block away from my apartment. 1 block. I'm sitting at the traffic lights, and I had this overwhelming, do not take the bike to the apartment. Right? Where this feeling, this wasn't so much a voice, it was like a thought, but it came from my gut. And I got back to the apartment block and I thought, fuck it. I've got a lot of shopping in there, a lot of stuff on the bike. I'm going up to the apartment. Well, I'm up on the 15th floor. So I come up to the apartment and I left to go back to school. This is like noon. I left to go back to school at 3 o'clock. I pushed my bike outside the door and the elevator was out of order. So I had to walk down 30 flights of stairs and get a cab to work. Had I not taken my bike up to the apartment, then I could have just gone down the stairs, got on the bike, and gone back to work. But it was an overwhelming. Do not take your bike up to the apartment.
Always listen to your intuition.
Oh, I'll never ignore it again, ever. ever. That was a huge, even though it was quite a harmless lesson, it was a huge lesson, Anmarie. Huge lesson.
So let's go into false flags. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say those two words together, but FF events. So a lot of people are talking about September 22nd, which would be 2 11s, 11 plus 11 is 22. Something happening, or the 23rd.
A lot of people are talking about 2112, December 21st, the solstice.
I've heard that too.
Because
so we've got like internet blackout, we've got them killing T, we've got what is all the other ones? The solar flare is the internet blackout. Oh my God, now that I'm on the spot, I can't think.
I don't pay much attention to them because I know what they are anyway. I mean, look, let me give you just one connection. Just one connection. You have the Genesis first creation in 127, which is 127. When was Pearl Harbor? Oh wait, December the 7th, 127. What were the numbers of the 3 towers that came down 20 years ago? 1, 2, 7. When was the second creation, the Adam and Eve creation? That was Genesis 2:7. You know what I mean? I mean, there's no way did Japan do what it was blamed for in World War II. That was got nothing to do with Japan. Just the same as the TT had got nothing to do with some dude in a cave.
I remember my dad saying they knew the Japanese were coming. They didn't tell anybody because they wanted them to come, and he thought it was to help get the United States into the war. But there's much more to it than that. But
well, look, if you're in a playground at school and you're having a fight with 10 different girls, why would you want to go and pick a fight with the school bully, which of course is the USA in this scenario? You wouldn't. You're too busy fighting other people. Why would you want to go and pick a fight with somebody else? Oh, I know, we're not that busy. Let's go and bomb Pearl Harbor. Give me a break.
Right. So what do you think about, let's just change gears here. What do you think about Ascension? Oh, no, let's go back to, okay, so let's go back to all the FFs, because you said something about the 4 horsemen. Do you want to go into that? Because
well, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse have been likened to the 4 companies that are doing this. I mean, we've still got the famine and the other 3 things, and they're talking about food shortages and so on and so forth. But for the most part, I think a lot of it is just fear porn. That's just my own well,
opinion. I've been falling into things where it's like I did one video and I started doing something, and then when some friends of my some friends and myself went in and looked, it was like, oh my gosh, they're doing the 7th seal right now. And I'm like, what's the 7th seal? And I'm looking up, oh, rapture is going on. Like, so I think the whole witchcraft part of it is they're playing out all these like stages, and the 7th seal, the rapture, the blah blah blah, you know, and they're doing all that stuff.
The rapture is a con. It's not. It's an invention. It's not talked about in the Bible. Not in the original text. So there's a
well,
lot
I thought it was
to
related to them taking the souls after they disconnect you from your soul. With this is the mass way of doing that, but they've been doing it anyway before that. So.
Yeah. Well, essentially, you're right. People are going to see it as being the rapture, but it's not. It's the stealing of your soul. Yeah.
And selling souls and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that people will then be trapped. Souls will be trapped here, and I firmly think that people like you and I and others, we made a conscious decision to come here in order, as you say. If we can't destroy this place can't be saved. We've either got to destroy this realm, or we've got to save those who are trapped here, including ourselves.
Yeah.
You asked about Ascension. Ascension is
I?
just, yeah,
Oh, I didn't know I said the word already. I was like, wait a minute, how'd you know I was gonna say that? So
yeah.
Ascension,
Mm.
what do you think about all that? Because that's the big new age thing, and I
I
think
don't go.
true ascension is going back to where we really are, like getting the hell out of the whole tesseract, the whole fake reality, everything, go back to where we really are. But other people think, oh, ascension, I'm going up to 5D. And I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go to some place where I'm forced to go. I mean, what are your
No.
thoughts on this though?
Well, my thoughts are simply that once you, again, it's that horrible phrase, wake up. You're raising your frequency. You're ascending. You're raising your frequency. Now, people talk about, they sit around watching TV, eating a McDonald's and drinking their Coca-Cola, waiting for Jesus to come and save them, which is a complete misnomer. I mean, it couldn't be further from the truth. The real meaning, and again, everything's a deception, right down to the first two lines in the Old Testament, Genesis 1, Genesis 2, they both contain deceptions. The first one says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Well, in the original Hebrew, it's the Elohim, and the Elohim is plural. So there's
Yeah, it
number
says
one.
gods. Yeah.
Yeah. And the earth was without form, comma, and void. Well, in the original Hebrew, the word was, or that we see in the English text, is actually became or came to pass, right? So the earth was, copied. This realm was copied, pasted, partially destroyed, and then what we know as the creation story is actually a recreation. When you get into the New Testament, you have this figure Jesus. Well, there was no J in English until 1594. Look at the word, the Spanish names, Jose or Juan. They're both spelled with a J. Well, Jesus becomes he's us, becomes he's us. You are the biblical Jesus. All of us, everybody watching this is the biblical Jesus because it's he's us. The word Christ is not a name. It's a title, just like president or prime minister. And Christ means to anoint with oil, the flow, the Christ consciousness. What we are experiencing, all of us, going through this awakening process, is the return of the Christ consciousness. Look at the biblical Christ. What was he doing? He was going around kicking over money, the money changers, the tables of the money changers. What was he doing? He actually turned around and said, "Know ye not ye are gods? Whatever I can do, you can do."
Right.
It's all there in the Bible, right? So basically telling us that we're all the same in reality, but we've been taught to look outside of ourselves for some kind of savior. Oh, the T-man's coming to save us, or Jesus is coming to save us. We're always looking outside of ourselves for salvation, and it ain't coming. Nobody's coming to save anybody. People have got to literally say what Jesus saves was the
I think we're saving each
cliche.
other. I think we're
Yeah.
saving
Oh,
each
without a
other.
doubt, without a doubt, without a doubt. And I also think that those of us that are coming together and doing podcasts like this, I mean, I've been doing podcasts with Harry for months. We've never physically met in person. It doesn't matter. This is like our soul tribe, because we connect on a completely different level to the way we connect with even our own physical friends and our families. We have a almost, you can call it a spiritual connection if you like, but it's a connection nonetheless. We're connecting on a more deeper level, and that to me is what the ascension process is all about. It's the return of the Christ, is the return of the Christ consciousness, to be able to think and understand and see what the biblical Jesus was seeing, which was, what did he say? I am in this world, but not of this world. He knew that this world was fake.
So you have a dimple, like,
Mm.
and you said you're Libra?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Libra trait, dimples. Sorry. Okay. So raising your vibration, then, so you're ascending. But that's just like a whole nother thing too, because I think people think if they raise their vibration, they're safe or something. It's like, well, I don't know about all that, but
Well, you've got the the double entendre. Jesus saves. Well, saves what? Because you save something for later, right? I can save you from drowning, right? Or I can say you're going to be late home tonight. I will save your dinner for you to eat when you get home. So you have these two different meanings of the word save. So are we being saved for later, or are we being quote unquote rescued? We're not being rescued. No.
that's an interesting, yeah, that's interesting.
And here's something that you probably won't know. I did a whole podcast on this. That you know how we are taught that God is love, right? The Chinese word for love is I, but it's spelled AI.
Oh God.
What I need, I is I mean, you know, when you use the pinyin, when you use our alphabet instead of the Chinese character, love is AI. God is love, hidden in plain sight.
Are you sure
Right
it's
there.
not God is AI? The word love is AI is what you're telling me.
Well, what they say, no, God is Shengdi, Shengdi, and we're told in the West, or you know, you go to any drive past any church and you'll see, you know, God is love. That's what we're taught. If God is love, then love is God. But here in China, what I need means I love you, and it's spelled AI.
That's very interesting.
And another interesting thing is that if you go and buy something from the supermarket and you want to keep it fresh, you put it in the fridge because you want to chill it. You want to chill it, right? Well, if you look at the word children, REN, which in China is pronounced Ren, is person or people. Chilled people, children, until they grow up and they can get a job and pay tax, because when you get a job is called an office, which is off ice. So they're chilled until they get a job, pay tax when they become off ice, office.
Oh boy.
Your partner, if you had a partner, you would call your partner your significant other, right? You've heard that phrase.
Right.
Significant other. Break down the word significant. It breaks down to sign if I can't. So in other words, you sign on behalf of me. Sign if I can't. Significant.
That's just scary.
The words, the breakdown of words that we've been working on is it's off the charts.
You
I
need to
mean,
write a book.
I've written 3.
Oh, you have? What are they? You didn't even say anything about it.
The Devil's Playground, book 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, they're
Oh,
linked.
okay. Is that where the name came from then? So I
Well,
didn't know that.
the Devil's Playground is what this realm is. This
Right, I
whole
understand
realm that
that, but
we're
I didn't
living
know
in.
it was named after book, or you had books with the
Yeah,
same name.
I've written 3. The
So where
links are
are
in the.
they? Are they ebook? Are they print?
They're all ebook. They're all free, and they're all on. If you go to any of my videos on the channel and click on the show notes, click more. There's links to the site. We're
Oh,
almost
okay. I never look at the
download
show
them.
notes. I'm bad at that.
Yeah, we all are. But yeah, the links are in the show notes. You can anybody can just go over there and download them. It's all free.
Okay.
I don't want any money. I hate money. Money's fake. We know it's fake. It's not real.
Well, you got a job, so you're doing all right. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
it's your job. If it's your job, you have to take money. I have to
Well,
charge because I have to
yeah.
pay to like post the books, and it's like 20 bucks a month, just like this Zoom this is 15 bucks a month, and everything's all adding up like these charges for every little thing you do. But
Yeah, we're the only species on this on the earth that has to pay to live here.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah,
So
the word play is just, it's insane what's been hidden right under our noses. And I didn't notice it until I started teaching English, because teaching English to as a foreign language, or to people of other languages. It's a bit like you're a pilot. You fly a commercial jet. I'm a pilot and I fly a helicopter. So we're both pilots, but you can't fly my helicopter and I can't fly your jumbo jet. It's the same when it comes to teaching English. We had some teachers a few years ago come over during the summer, some English teachers from England, and they were fucked. They were totally out of their depth. They just didn't know what to do or where to start. We had to rescue them. But it's once I started doing that, once I started teaching English and started looking at the breakdown of words, I'm like, fuck, how have I missed this all my life?
Oh, we're all doing
Absolutely. We all do. We all miss it. Yeah, we all miss it.
that. Hell, I don't even have time to watch
insane.
videos really. I'm just like, I'm doing, like you, just work, work, work. But okay, so let's go into like Schumann resonance. Do you know anything about that, or what are your thoughts on that? Because that's just something that I've never felt right about. Like, it's like, what is this? And people are really into it, and I just don't. And then I saw a post today that said the Schumann resonance AI generator is not natural. It's AI's taking over Earth's natural vibration through mechanical frequencies. Now, I don't know if that's true, but do you know anything about that, or any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, Tesla was right when he said everything is about frequency, vibration. And the Schumann resonance is just a vibration. And some people, the Schumann resonance is good today, and it's not so good today. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah, what's it measuring though?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't got a clue. Don't really
Okay.
care. Don't really care. Look, the way that I see this is we are living in in some kind of video game, some kind of movie. What you have is Gematria, which is the frequency of the language, right? Gematria controls the language. You have physics, which is just the quote unquote natural thing. Like if I drop my lighter, let go of my lighter, it's going to fall. Then what you have then is you have phi and pi. Pi 22/7 is the program. The actual AI program is all hidden in
That's
pi.
what I thought. Physics is just trying to explain the matrix.
Yeah, and phi 1.61, that is the anything that you see in what we call nature. So phi runs nature. Phi is the Fibonacci sequence, what we call the golden. Why do we always forget that? The golden ratio. That's it. The golden ratio. Yeah.
God, I
so
remembered something for once. Woohoo!
anything that you see in nature, anything that grows, is all governed by 1.61, which is the golden ratio, and the actual computer program is written or hidden in pi 3.14 reoccurring, well, not 3.142 and 2 million other numbers, and how pi can actually demonstrate the recycle trap is that you're a tarot reader, and you would know that the number 19 in tarot is the sun card, right? Mm. Well, in Gematria, master is 19, battery is 19. If you put the number 19 into the string of pi, it's at the 37th decimal point. If you put 37 into the string of pi, it's at the 46th decimal place. And if you put 46 into the string of pi, it's at the 19th. So you have the 19, 37, 46 as your recycle. And it's all there. It's all there in the string of pi. That is the program. The program that, like the computer program that runs this matrix is pi.
Yeah. So speaking of tarot cards, I did a reading of the week, and I had two queens come up and then a third queen come up. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, I don't expect you
Yeah.
to have seen
No,
that.
I do watch it. When I get up in the morning and I look at my notifications and, oh, Anne-Marie, you're actually the first one that I watch before I watch anything else.
Yay. I never get notifications for anybody. I don't know what the deal is, but it's always way after the fact. So what do you think 3 queens means?
Well, the Queen is, you've only got to look at the quote unquote royal family. If a king gets married, she becomes the queen. But if the queen gets married, he becomes a prince. He's not a king. So the queen represents the highest. The queen is the boss, if you like, the big boss. The queen is also the 12th card in the normal deck, cards of Illuminati, as they're known as. Which again represents 1 and 2 represents 3, but the 12 months of the year. You know, we talk a lot about on my channel about the number 7, living in the 7th realm. Have you ever looked at the palm of your hand and seen that you have a 7? Not many people do. Look at the palm of your right hand and find the 7, and then you will see it's a mirror image on your left hand. Everything in this realm is 7.
I don't know if I have it.
Yes, you do.
I have
Probably just
M's.
can't. Huh?
I have an M.
Yeah, some people, it looks like an M, right? If you can see this because of light, right? You can see there, you can see an M.
You're
but
talking about connected to the lifeline?
that part of it is a 7, right? So you've got the M and you've got the 7.
This hand's just saying she is freaking messed up.
Yeah, I can assure you, you got a 7. Like you have 7 holes in your head, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, and a mouth. You have 12 holes in your body when you consider you have 2 here, you have your belly button, and then you have your front and back bottom. So we have 12 holes in our body, 7 holes in our head, 7 days in the week, 12 months of the year, 7 units of time, year, month, week, day, hour, minute, second, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 notes on a musical scale, 7 quote unquote planets, 7 days of the week. As I say, this whole realm is based on 7. 8 becomes the reincarnation, and 9 becomes perfection, because you can't add anything to 9. You add any number to 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3. So it always comes back to the number that you added. If you multiply 9 by any number, 3 9s are 27, 2 and 7 is 9. So you can multiply perfection, right? If you are capable of going into your kitchen and baking a wonderful cake, you can do that every day. You're going to bake a wonderful cake. But if that cake is perfect, I can't add anything to it to make it even more perfect, right? Because you can't improve on perfection. So 9 becomes the perfect number. And when you invert that, that's the 6, and that's the 666 realm. I mean, people go on about the mark of the beast, 666, 666. The mark of the beast is currency, nothing else. It's currency. You can't buy or sell without it. You got to have it, you know, in the palm of your hand, your right hand, or in your forehead. What does that mean? It means you're either holding cash, you're going to spend it, or you don't have any, and you're thinking about how you can make money. That's the forehead connection to the mark of the beast. Make no mistake, I've done a whole video, whole podcast on 666 and how it all breaks down into being currency. I go back to the year 665, before the 1,000 years was added. What became 1666 was the beginning of the beast system that we now live in. It's all there on the channel, on my podcasts. Yeah, so people are thinking, oh, this is a mark of the beast. No, it's not. It's not. What does this have to do with your right hand or your forehead? Nothing. I know. Maybe I'm sounding a little bit arrogant, but I don't care, because I've done countless hours of research into this mark of the beast topic. It's currency. The mark of a man. Look at any note. Why do we pay bills with dollar bills? Look at any dollar bill. It's got a dude on there. The mark of a man. It's Aman, the beast system. We can't operate in the beast system without cash. You can't buy or sell without cash. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
did a study on the 666 and words that added to that, and it was like, it was this word, the V word, and computer added to 666, and just certain things that are all like tying together now. But
and why are these called a cell phone? A cell is a prison cell, you know. It's all there. It's all hidden in what we say it's hidden in plain sight, and we see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unring the bell once that bell's been rung, you know.
so where do you think we're headed? Like, where are we going? What's the future look like? What is the when you think about everything, the matrix, everything, like what are we doing? Where are we? Because we're all coming here, I think a lot of us that get on channels like this, and to do a mission and to help free souls or take this down or whatever their mission is. But I mean, what do you
Well,
see for the future? What's happening?
I think that and I will provide you some evidence as to why I think this way. I think we're out of here. I think all of us in this let's call it a community, the whatever you want to call them, truthers or the awakened or whatever, we're out of here. Why do I think this? Well, again, you know, the 11 has played a big part in my life. When I look back, these are little breadcrumbs, these are little clues. Now if you look at the how much the scumbags rely on the number 11. I think when was the Lyris announced? Oh, 11th of March. What happened 20 years ago? Oh, well, that was on the 11th as well. Why do they pay so much attention to 11? And why so much attention to 9? Well, something hit me yesterday as I was making this, or Saturday as I was making this PPT. You know, there are certain scriptures that talk about that Jesus will reign for 1,000 years and Satan has been locked up for 1,000 years. We are Satan, right? Jesus and Satan are the same thing. The left brain, right brain, the angel and the demon, right? It's the same. It's you, it's I, it's the it in our head, the voice in our head. It's the same thing. Now, locked up and reigned for 1,000 years. Well, my grandma lived until she was 90. Both my parents are 86 and neither of them look like they're going to die soon. If you take 1,000 years and divide it by 90, the average lifespan, that breaks down to 11.111111 forever reoccurring. So what if we were all given a 1,000-year prison sentence and we have to serve 1,000 years? That would mean 11 cycles, 11 incarnations. How many people do you hear of that say, oh, I look at the clock and it's 11:11, or you know, they see this 11 happening all the time? Well, maybe for us, this is our 11th incarnation, and technically we're out of here.
That's interesting. That's something I need to read on. Yeah.
Well, you've got the 90, the 9, so there's your 9, right? So divide 1,000 years by 90 years gives you 11 incarnations. So there's another clear reference there to 9/11. Why is September the 11th month? Sorry, the 9th month, when septo means 7. Octo is 8. Octopus, octagon, 8. So why is it the 10th month? Same with Novem, which means 9, and decimal is 10, yet it's the 12th month. It's all part of the deception. There are 13 lunar months in a year. You know, 52 weeks as represented in the deck of cards, 52 cards, 4 suits, 4 seasons. You know, they give us all this stuff, but they hide the meaning from us. It's up to us to find out what the meanings are or what the meaning is, depending on what we're looking at.
Well, I definitely think anybody that is awake to a certain level is getting out of here.
Totally agree.
You know, if you start to realize you're in an AI construct, I mean, some of these people only wake up so far, and then it's like they don't go any further. They're stuck in a religious belief program or something else. And it's like, but if you know as much as like you and I and other people watching and going down these rabbit holes, I don't know how you could remain here. It's like there's too much, you have too much truth where it's just going to start to dissolve the matrix, the code, the construct, everything. So
Well, I had a we did a podcast a few weeks ago with Michelle Gibson, and you know, for those that know Michelle's work, I mean, she's heavily into Tartaria and so on and so forth. It's all a waste of time. Who built these beautiful architectural buildings that we couldn't build today? Well, no one in this realm, because it was all copied over from the original realm. Right, then it was part of it was it's like you, Anmarie, creating everything on your computer from scratch, everything, all this wonderful stuff. And one day while you're asleep, I copy all your info, your hard drive, onto my hard drive. I haven't damaged your hard drive, I haven't hurt anything, but now I've got a copy of everything from your computer, and I can do whatever I want. So if I choose to destroy 70% of it, then that's what I can do. There are no ramifications. It's all there. Jeremiah 4, verse 23 to 28. It's all there. He witnessed the destruction of the earth, yet man hadn't been created, because it's a direct tie-in with Genesis 1:2. Right? I beheld the earth and it was without form and void. It's the only other place in the Bible you'll read that is in Jeremiah 4, verse 23. So man was already here, and he talks about cities being destroyed. Well, hang on, who built the cities if man wasn't created until Genesis 1:27? And when it comes to the reptilians, if you go and read Genesis 1:21, where it says God created the great whales, where, sorry, it's telling me I've got insufficient disk space, so the recording stopped. So Genesis 1:21 talks about the great whales, and yet when you read the original Hebrew, God created serpents, sea monsters. They've just been translated as whales to make it look all nice and pretty. So the reptilians were created 5 verses before man was created, but man was already here, part of the copy and paste, which were Tartarians. They were the original. Ab means from, ab original. The what are stupidly called the American Indians. They're not Indians at all, or the Aboriginal people of Australia. They're remnants of the Tartarians that was copied and pasted over.
I think this is a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, and I think I think the original real Earth, or one of the Earths plural, like that this one is a copy of. I don't think it had the problems like this. Like when you take something real and you try to make it synthetic and you create a fake copy, it's not doesn't work right.
Well, there's a lot of evidence that when if you go down this rabbit hole, that the original Earth was silicon based, whereas this one's carbon based. So if you take something that's silicon and you copy it in a carbon format, you've made a carbon copy. Not a carbon copy, but a carbon copy. You should change the intonation. You see the deception. But you know, we did a podcast recently where Harry was talking about like we are in an arcade game, right? The god of this realm is the arcade owner, and our higher self is the player, right? The guy holding the control. This would be the leash connection. And very shortly after we'd done that podcast, a movie came out called Free Guy. Have you seen Free Guy?
No, but I've heard people talking about it.
Oh my God. It's all there. It's all there. They're telling you. They're telling you in the movie.
Oh, I saw the preview for it. Yeah. Does it
Oh,
have what's his name in it? The hot guy.
oh, I can't remember the names of actors. I'm terrible with that. But guys, if you haven't watched the movie Free Guy, please go and watch it. They're telling you. They will back up everything that I've been talking about. We are in a video game.
So
What I don't want to give a spoiler alert, but what happens? You have an NPC, a non-player character in the video game, who literally wakes up and becomes a character, because once he wakes up, now he can see that he's in a video game. Yeah, and you've got the people on the next level that are playing the video game. You've got the creators of the video game. It's all there. They're telling you. Talk about truth in plain sight. Unbelievable.
yeah, I've been thinking we're in a video game for many years now, or it's something similar. It's very close, but so I don't know. When I hear Silicon World, like that reminds me of just another copy, and then they make it different, and then they make it different. Doesn't feel like the real world to me, but it was interesting when you said the word arcade. I thought of Archon. It's the connection there, but
Well, again, if you look at some of these biblical characters that live to be, 700, 800, whatever, and we live to be 80, 90. Satan's time is short. Our time is short in this incarnation. And I think until you've done your 11 incarnations, you're just going to have to keep coming back.
well, that kind of concerns me though, because it's like, okay, we do 11 incarnations. Who's deciding that? Is it only so long that they're allowed to hold us because of universal laws or what? But if we are in a false matrix, does that mean that we're going somewhere else now? Like, oh, you've been in isolation, now you get to go back to your cell, or makes me think, oh, are they sending us somewhere else? Because I don't care what incarnation this is, I'm freaking out of here.
Well, you and I have both
Choice.
looked at the Crater guy, the Crater Earth guy stuff, right? I mean, I'm totally on board with that, and I think there's a good chance we just get the choice to go somewhere else.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm making a choice to go back to myself. I don't want
Me
to,
too.
I
Me
am
too.
not going any choice they present me with, or hey, your 11 incarnations are up and now we move you to here. No, absolutely no permission anymore, because I think that there's just a small handful of us. We're fringe. I mean, we're fringe of, we're the fringe of fringe.
Yeah.
And it's like, to get this far, I think there's just, no possible, like we're way farther than they would have thought we would have gotten. So I almost feel like this is another net they catch us. And
Well,
okay,
the way
your 11 cycles are up. Now we're going to bump you to 5D, or we're going to do whatever. And I'm beyond that. It's like, no, I am not here anymore. I'm done with false reality.
I think that the trap is quite simple. I don't think they can force us to do anything. I don't think they can make us do anything against our will, but they trick us. Now, there's a podcast on my channel called the Reincarnation Trap, and the letter T in the and reincarnation and trap, I've used 7, right? And we talk about going into the light, which is what we all taught all our lives. Oh, Jesus was, the light of the world and all this, that, and the other. So when we die, we've been preconditioned to go into the light, which would be the representation of the sun. The sun feeds the moon, and we come back in another reincarnation. But going into the light, in my opinion, is a choice that we make, but it's in a very, very similar way to you're driving your car, right? And you get on the on-ramp to go onto the freeway. And as you're on that on-ramp, you go, oh shit, wrong one. Wrong on-ramp. Now what you can do, you've got to go the distance to come off and then go around again. So going into the light is like getting on the on-ramp. Once you've gone to that point, you're at the point of no return. So the overall message is don't go into the light. There was a big play on that in one of the Star Trek. I can't remember if it was an episode or a movie, but we highlight that on the on that episode that we did on the on that podcast, where you know, she dies, but she's having a near-death experience, and her father comes out of the light, wants to take her into the light, and she realizes, you're not my dad, you're not my father, go away. And he, as he walks away, he says, you'll be back and I will get you next time.
Hmm.
They're telling you, right? The truth is in plain sight. I watched Groundhog Day years ago. I watched it again a couple of weeks ago.
Ugh.
Because
I
yeah, I
hate
know.
that movie. Ugh.
Yeah, I know. But the underlying message is that every morning when he wakes up, that is the analogy of another incarnation, right? And the only way he gets out is by changing and becoming a nice guy instead of the arrogant prick that he is at the beginning of the movie. So huge truth drop in that. Another one is a 2021 movie called Infinite. If you haven't watched that, that is a mind blow. And the other two that I've been recommending is Jumanji. You've got to watch the one from 2017 first, and then watch the 2019 one. They're telling you, they're telling you that we're in a game. And the normies just don't get it. Oh, that was a good movie, or didn't like that. If you watch it with a fresh pair of eyes, you're going to see stuff that you've never seen before. Wow, it's right there. Did you see that? No, what are you talking about? They don't know. You know. Now, do they do it on purpose? Of course they do, because we are being mocked. Everything is mockery. I mean, look at Trump's. Oh, I said it. Look at his hair. Look at Boris Johnson's hair. What is Johnson? You know, the Prime Minister of the UK. What is Johnson? It's a nickname for a phallus. You had Matt Hancock. What's a cock? You had this police chief woman called Cressida Dick. Say that with an Italian accent. Cressida Dick. It's mockery.
Well,
All
yeah,
of it is
I think
mockery.
they've given all of us names like that to mock us, and especially celebrities where they change their name, and so they give them some kind of deliberate name that means something to them, and just like Marilyn Monroe with the M's. But I think it's all that stuff has some kind of meaning for them, and whatever.
Well, yeah, it's all mockery. I mean, you know, Christopher Columbus. There's your 33 CC. Captain Cook, that discovered Australia. There's another CC. And people have this crazy misconception that number 33 is a bad number. No, they've just hijacked it. If you think of water, well, I think it was Bruce Lee who said, "Be like water." Then in the Fahrenheit scale, 32 degrees is the freezing point, 33 is the melting point. What is happening to us, Anmarie? We were frozen when we were sheeple. We're now melting as we begin to wake up. Well, that happens at the 33rd degree in the Fahrenheit scale. So they have hijacked the 33. Are they telling us that they're enlightened and we're not? Or we know something that you don't know, like we're mocking you? Probably, yes. That's why they use the 33 the way that they use the 33. Again, it's just my opinion, but that's how I see it. And now I look at everything through new eyes, fresh pair of eyes, everything. And I see things that how have I missed that for years and years and years?
Yeah, I stopped watching TV in 1988, so it's like extremely hard for me to hear a TV on. It's like, oh, can't stand the sound of it, because every single thing they say is like, oh, well, there's that, and there's that, and there's that mind program. So
yeah, it's all a program. And tell lie vision, tell lies to your vision. It's all there in the words, you know.
Why do I look like I have an Adam's apple in the lighting?
Oh, maybe you're an M2F.
See, I'm not a guy. There's not an Adam's apple. I don't know, the lighting. I looked down, I was like, I see an Adam's apple.
There are a lot of
it's a Mandela effect. I used to not have one.
There are a lot in the music industry and the Hollywood that are, we think they're female and they're males and vice versa. But again, it's just mockery.
Doesn't it look like an Adam's apple right there?
No.
Let me see your neck. You got an Adam's apple?
Not really.
We're gonna get our necks down. I don't have
No,
one.
no, you don't have one. No, not at all. But again, yeah,
Um,
it's just all mockery. People are just playing their script in real life.
Oh,
Well,
well,
if you
speaking
want to
of
call it.
which, so I had, I was like in an intuitive space, and I was getting that my name in the game was Aeon, Aeon, which is interesting because I have family members that call me Aeon, which is a Greek god of time, which would be eternal time. So eternal time would be a loop. But anyway, and somebody said, "Oh, you're getting an ego because you think you're a god." Not the point. So I'm wondering, like, when they play the game, you know how you pick a character at the beginning. Oh, I'm gonna be this character, and everybody else that's playing the same game, like everybody's playing Halo, and everybody picks a certain character or whatever. So I wonder if they gave us names too, and that's what these and we're supposed to symbolize them. Yeah.
Well, your parents don't give you the name. They just think they do. You inherit your family name, but your first name, your given name, it's called a given name for a reason. I mean, if I put my first name, Nigel, into Gematria, it's 11. My first and second name's 11. My full name's 11. My full address where I grew up was 11. I mean, 11 breaks down to 2. I grew up at number 2. My house number was number 2. When I go to Chaldean, my first name is 8. My first and second name is 8. My full name is 8. My initials are 19, 1 and 9. I was born on the 1st of October. From the beginning of the year, it's 1 day and 9 months into the year. When you take the 8 and the 11 from English Ordinal and Chaldean and put them together, it's 19. You can't make this up. You know, my birth card,
Oh,
my birth
coincidence.
date,
Come on.
my birth date card is the 8 of diamonds.
Hmm. I
You know
got
what
the
I mean?
5 of diamonds. I'm like cursed with that thing.
One of the things that Logan teaches you to do when you decode yourself is to take the phi, which is 1.61 or 161, which adds up to 8. Yeah. And what you do, you take your birthday and you go 161 days back and 161 days forward, and then you take those dates and you write what is the 1st of October. Oh, it's the 274th day of the year, 275th on a leap year. So you do that for all 3 dates, and now you've got 3 numbers. You add them up. Mine came to 457. 4 plus 5 plus 7 is 16. Add 3 more days for leap years, you've got 460, which is 4 and 6 is 10. So mine actually come out 161 days back, 161 days forwards gives me 161. 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 8, and that's my name in Chaldean. So, you know, if somebody wants to turn around and say, "Oh no, that's just coincidence," well, I would have to laugh, because there can't be that many coincidences.
Yeah,
Even
just
the
like
first, even
like
the
I
first.
do know numerology and stuff, but I don't have a lot of time to just spend on that. There's too many other things I'm interested in. But these guys that sit there and add every event, like, okay, this event happened, and then this many days later, this event happened, and it's connected to this event and this event, and then and like mapping that stuff out. And they say, oh, they're planning all this stuff. It's like, there's no way this is all on the matrix script. There's no way you could plan in that much detail.
No, but when you actually decode yourself, I mean, there are many layers that you can use, and the only reason that you use these layers is to verify what you found on the previous layer, right? Right down to, as I say, I said the 11 and the 8. Well, and then the 11 and 8, which is 19. My birthday's the 1st of October, which is 10-1, which is 11, right? And 1st of October is 1 month and 9 days, 1 day and 9 months into the year. You know, I've just come back from 6 weeks lockdown in a city that I used to work in, and as I say, I was in room 704. 704 is 11. I mean, it's so obvious when you do these decodes and these breakdowns that A, we're living in a script, and B, we have our own script.
Yeah, they've been trying to do the sacrificial 12 on me for a long time, and the city I grew up in is a 12. I don't jive with it at all. And then when I had to move back here, it's like I moved into a place that had an address of 12, and then our number on the door was 309, which was 12 in a 12 city. So it was like a triple 12, and there's another 12 in there somewhere. And it was like the worst. I've had nothing but bad luck and just constant. It's been nonstop. And I've been here since 2012. It's when I moved back here. And it was only supposed to be for 2 years, and I can't get out of here. So it's like just these things they set us into, also these scripts that just torture scripts and stuff. But
yeah, well, you know, people are aware of the Mayan calendar, which was supposed to signify the end of everything in 2012. Well, when all this nonsense that's happening now started in 2020, I mean, you know, it's 8 years. 8 years later, well, what's 8? 8 is the Ouroboros. 8 is the reincarnation. Yeah, 8
well,
years
2012,
later.
everything ended, and they put us on loops.
Yep.
So I've been on the 12 loop. So here I'm back, and it's like 12, 12, everything's 12, 12, 12.
Well, why were we always, you know, ever since we could learn to speak when we were babies? I mean, you know, 2020 vision. I mean, why 2020? Where did that come from? You know, 2020 hindsight or 2020 vision. You know, I mean, you can look at the breakdown of time. I mean, time's an illusion. As I said, there are 7 units of time, the smallest one being second. Why is it second? Me first, you second, you first, me second. Why is it the word second? Minute, minute. Well, a minute is a very, very small piece of time. So you can see that the connection between the word minute and minute being spelled the same. But why second? I mean, I've got no idea why that word was chosen.
I don't know. That's for you to figure out.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of us, what you say is perfectly correct. That's for you to figure out, because that will have a meaning for you, and it might have a different meaning for you.
No, I mean, you're gonna figure it out for all of us, because I ain't.
Oh, okay.
Time.
Okay.
I just gave you that job.
I'll do that. Okay, no problem. So, you know, and anagrams. As I said earlier, the word funeral is real fun. And they play around with these because they have exactly the same value in Gematria, because they're the same letters. If you type in real fun in Gematria and write down the numbers and then type in funeral, the numbers are going to be exactly the same because it's the same letters. Yeah. So again, you have that connection, energetic connection to words when we play around with anagrams, which you can't do in China. You can't do that in Chinese. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can't do it in any of the Asian languages, only English. Which leads me back, we go full circle back to the point that English was created. It was a created language after 70% of the world was destroyed in Genesis 1:1. Again, you've got that 7, and 70% of the world speaks English. So, you know, it all fits. I mean, you know, I can't prove any of this, guys. And if anybody out there watching go, oh, you're just being silly, well, debunk me. You can't. Many people have tried. And just because what I'm saying can't be debunked doesn't mean that it's true. But if you've got a pair of scales and you go, well, no, I can't debunk that, so we'll put it over here. We can't debunk that, so we'll put it over here. Can't debunk that, so we'll put it over there. Can't debunk that, so we'll put it over there. What happens? That's what happens. There's so much weight on this side that you can't balance the scales again. None of this may be true, but because it can't be debunked, there's nothing on this side of the scales. If that makes sense. You know, and people just, oh, you're stupid, or you're an idiot, or you're a conspiracy theorist, or I don't really care. You know, I say what I see, and I'm not scared to say what I see. It becomes my truth. And when other people turn around and go, yeah, I get that, I see that. No, I can't debunk it either.
Well, maybe
So all
one
we're
day
doing,
they'll realize all we're trying to do is just wake them up. Maybe
yeah.
they'll get that one day, but
Well, I don't think some of them. I don't think so, because you know there are NPCs.
yeah,
You
some
know
of them are
there
just
are many,
robotoids.
many Robotoids NPCs, and you're never going to wake them up. You can't tell someone the truth, Anmarie. You have to show them the truth. And when you present someone with the truth and they still say, no, that's bullshit, then you know that they're an NPC and they're never ever going to wake up.
Yeah.
You know that no, I'm not listening to you. That's what we get all the time. I
All
mean,
right. So,
my family, my friends, yeah, we're, you know, you and I are in the same, many of us are in the same situation. We've lost friends. We have family members that don't speak to us anymore because they think we're crazy. Because, of course, Mum went to the moon. I saw it on the telly.
right.
You know.
Yeah, you only got so much energy, so
Yeah.
save it for the people that want to listen. But so I think maybe we should wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to leave it on a positive note, or anything else you want to share? Or
Well, maybe you can leave it on a positive note. You're the tarot reader.
I don't have any tarot card. I'm not working right now. I mean, I'm working, but
All right. Well, let's leave it on a positive note. Um, don't give your energy to the dark side. Stop looking at people like Kill Bates and Fauci. I mean, Fauci. Look at the word. Fau means false, and chi is energy. It's right there in his name. You know what I mean? These people are just playing their part in the movie, right? Don't hate them. You can hate what they do. You can disagree with what they do, but it's a waste of energy. Just ignore it. Just ignore it, and it will go away. You
well,
know
I
what I
watch
mean?
all that stuff for entertainment, honestly. That's
Mm,
like watching a movie for me, watching what's going on in the world. But
yeah. If you've got somebody that calls you 3 times a day and you never answer the phone, they're going to stop calling you at some point, right?
no,
If you answer the phone every time, they're
no.
going to continue calling you. Well, you know what I mean. Eventually, they will stop calling you if you don't answer the phone. Um, and that's what we're doing. The back to I'm not religious. I've never been religious. My parents are. They're Bible bashing Christians. So I was raised in that environment. But I always knew that it was basically religion is creation. Um, I remember I was again 11 years old. And my parents took me to church one Sunday, and the vicar would always stand at the door on the way out and say, you know, shake people's hands and thanks for coming. And I was 11 years old, and I said, can I ask you a question? And he said, yeah, of course you can, Nigel. You can ask me anything you want. And I said, if I live a good life, when I die, I'll go to heaven and I'll be happy with Jesus and God. Yes, of course you will. Okay, but if I live a really, really bad life and I do really, really terrible things, I will go to hell and the devil will punish me. And he said, correct. I said, why would he punish me? Why would he punish me? I said, surely I'd be one of his mates, wouldn't I, if I do really terrible things? And then he turned around to my father and said, maybe church is not the right place for your son. And I never went there again. Oh, I did. I tell a lie. I got married in church, which was a stupid thing to do. But it's funny how you get married in church, but you don't get divorced in church. So yeah, on a positive note, don't take a side, because the biblical Jesus spoke about the narrow path, the narrow gate. I think it was Dolores Cannon that did a lot of work on that, and she called it the way. Jesus was teaching the way, and the way is not to take sides. And what we've been brought up with all our lives is you must choose, you must pick a side, whether it be politics, whether it be your local football team, whether it no matter what, we're always presented with a choice, which means we have to take a side, or we're encouraged to take a side. Don't take a side. Don't give your energy to either side. It's not easy to do, because we've had 50 years of this indoctrination nonsense, where it's been part of our lives that we've always been put in a position where we feel that we have to choose. So, you know, it's the tea or coffee. What do you want, tea or coffee? You want a glass of wine, Anmarie? Oh yeah, that'd be cool. You want red or white? There's
I don't
always
drink.
that choice. No, but you know what I mean. There's
So
always that choice.
yeah, I mean, I did that for a long time. I think that was like 1998. I came to this realization, like, when you choose a side, then you create the other side to exist, and that kind of thing. So I've always talked about walking the middle path. Don't choose, don't choose. And I think I've gotten to a point where it's like, now I can choose to choose if I want. Now I can fight. Now I'm going on this side and I'm fighting, because I know I can just jump back on the middle path, because I don't really care. I care to a certain extent, but not really, because now that I see this for what it is, I could jump on and get pissed or do this or do that, and I don't have to worry about it, because I can just, well, I know what this is. It's like I can snap out of it pretty quick.
I
But
I I, I think the
because I think
what
there's
you're
times you have to take a side and stand up sometimes, but I understand what you're saying. Walking that neutral path.
well,
And
yeah, I mean, if I bring back in the red and the white wine just as an example, if I want a glass of wine and I've got a bottle of red and a bottle of white, and I want to drink a glass of wine, I have no choice but to make a choice, right? So maybe I open the bottle of red and I drink that glass of red wine. Now I'll go and drink a glass of white wine, because now I've I started with a choice, yeah, but I've now balanced that choice out by drinking a glass of red and a glass of white, right? So the choice that I made in the beginning to drink the red one first or the white one first is immaterial. It doesn't matter. Do you want tea or coffee? I'll have a coffee, and then maybe an hour later can have a cup of tea. Again, you've done the same thing. So we're forced at whatever.
that's all this is choices. Well, I
That's
kind
all
of
it is.
think
Yeah.
like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if I'm in a room and there's a guy raping, let's say, this woman, I can look at it and say, okay, I know this is all a game. It's all just a false reality. This isn't real. So I can still stay neutral. But in that moment, I'm going to kick that MFers, you know what? And I'm going to jump in and I'm taking her side. But at the same time, I still have some kind of inner knowing that this is all just, but most people don't. Most people are caught up in everything, and then that's their whole thing. It's like, and then that scene will haunt them for the rest of their life, and this and that. So I think once you get to a certain level, you can actually play the game when you want to, or when you need to, but you can still stay on the neutral path.
I agree, and if I was in that same situation, I saw somebody hurting somebody else, I would jump in as well, because nobody has the right to hurt another person. And this is something else that people don't understand, and this took me a long time to get my head around. This is okay. You've got a guy and you've got a girl, and let's just use me and you as an example. So you and I decided we're going to have a relationship, and I really love you. I'm deeply in love with you, but you're not as deeply in love with me as I am with you, right?
Oh,
And something happens, right? Maybe you do something to hurt me, or you go and sleep with my friend or whatever, and I'm going to accuse you of hurting me. You haven't hurt me at all. I've hurt me because I loved you so much that I allowed you to hurt me. You didn't hurt me. I hurt me. We always want to
true.
blame somebody else.
Or your perception of what a relationship should be.
Absolutely. I mean, I just use that as an example. I mean, we can, there are
Yeah, I'm
dozens
not
of
a cheater, by
examples
the
we can
way,
use.
but okay.
No, no, nor am I. But what I'm kind of saying is that me being a normie would say, Anne-Marie, you really hurt me. You fucking bitch. You've hurt me.
I didn't mean
Why?
to. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what you would say. And I'd say, well, you have, and now I don't want to be with you anymore. And I
Dude, I
walk away,
didn't, man. You got the wrong info. I don't cheat.
and I'm crying and I'm all upset. But why am I in that
Dude, just calm
feeling that
down. It's
emotion?
just a matrix
Yeah,
that, you know, I'm just an NPC. Just calm down. It didn't,
yeah,
nothing really happened.
that's right. But I
So
don't
now you're back
understand
on the
that, you
middle
see.
path. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't understand that because I'm asleep. I'm an
Right?
NPC. So, and this applies to anything. When you look at somebody and you want to blame them for doing something, turn it round and look at yourself. You know, you can't blame somebody else for your actions. You can't blame yourself for me being totally in love with you. I can only blame myself because I allowed myself to be totally in love with you. Therefore, I allowed you to hurt me
You know,
inadvertently.
you're taking me by complete surprise. If you have to do this on a video like this, you could have just told me in private, but it's okay. You're
This
putting me
is
on
for
the spot here.
this is
Don't
for
get down on your knee.
No, I would never do that.
Okay, just well, don't grab that ring. I'm not
No,
ready yet.
no, no,
I'm
no.
not
But
ready.
again, and this is a whole new area, a whole new podcast. When we talk about everything being a contract, right? We sign a contract. Why do we resign from our job or re-sign a new contract? The word is exactly the same, written exactly the same, but everything's a contract. But when you ask somebody to marry you, and you agree, you've made a contract. That's it. But then you have to go and make it formal. You've got to go and get a license and a certificate and a ring, which represents Saturn, by the way. Instead of, hey, will you marry me? Yeah, okay, cool. We now consider ourselves married because I said, will you marry me? And you said, yeah, well that's the job done. We've made that contract. But no, in this shit system, you've got to go out, you've got to, you have the part, having the party's fine. But you've got to make it official. You've got to make it legal.
By the way, if I just wear a ring because I like a crystal or a stone and I want to wear it, like, am I worshiping Saturn or is that just
No, I think that's the couple, the bind, the ties that bind.
just the ceremony, the ritual? Okay.
The two becoming one.
It's
Yeah.
it's a ritual. It's so gross. I know.
Well, yeah, because when two people
No
get
offense to
married,
anybody that's married, but
no, but if you and I got married, I would buy a ring and give it to you, and you would buy a ring and give it to me. So that would be an exchange of it's symbolism.
can
Yeah.
we just not do a contract, Nigel, and just be in love? We can
Yeah.
talk about that later, though.
Yeah, we can
Our
talk about
newfound
that later.
love. We can talk about
Yeah.
that later.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
So
right.
yeah, we've been going an hour and a half, so yeah, we probably should wrap it up. Yeah. So don't go away, just stop recording.
We could end with our marriage ceremony here on the
Well, or next time we do a podcast, we could begin with our marriage ceremony.
Oh God. All right, everybody go to Devil's Playground 2 and sign up, whatever it is, subscribe, like it, binge on it, get some love over there.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Anmarie.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your views and let me interview you and all that stuff. And I'm going to turn us off here, but don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Anmarie.